This week we're briefly going to highlight the results from last week's supply-demand report from the USDA. Then we're going to turn our focus to South America, specifically looking at weather trends for Argentina and Brazil as we move through the critical soybean blooming and pod set fill stage. We're going to wrap things up this week looking at trends in November soybean futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the soybean market. We moved in the middle of January here, and the soybean market remains extremely volatile. Let's start out this week looking briefly at the results from last week's supply-demand report from the USDA. We're just going to focus on the U.S. supply-demand balance sheet here. I've highlighted a couple things. The final crop size from the 22 harvest was 70 million bushels, lower than what it was in November, but that was mostly offset by a 55 million bushel reduction in the export forecast. With some other minor adjustments, the carryout was reduced by 10 million bushels. Here's the key message. For all intents and purposes, we're looking at where we were back in December in terms of the balance sheet, only a minor change. And that makes weather in South America now extremely important. Speaking of South America, let's take a look at weather trends in Argentina. Before we get to weather trends, let's look at where those beans are produced. We're looking at four key provinces here in Argentina: Buenos Aires, Córdoba, Santa Fe, and Santiago del Estero. About 80-85% of the beans in Argentina are produced in those provinces. Now let's take a look at the weather trends. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-storm weather. Again, we're focusing on a bit of a change in Argentina. Notice in that pink area here, we're forecasting about 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches of rain over the next several days, specifically starting Thursday night, more into Friday through Sunday. And that green area, about 4/10 to 8/10 of an inch. Again, not necessarily a drought buster, but a weather market nevertheless as we move into mid-January, and will continue all the way through the month of February. Now let's look at the precip totals over the next 2 weeks. More closer to normal here across those key provinces. I remind you that we're mainly looking at the blooming stage for soybeans in Argentina. These beans are not in the pod set or pod fill stage. They are primarily in the blooming stage, so we're looking at a weather market again extending at least to the month of February. Let's switch gears now to Brazil and look at where those soybeans are produced in the country of Brazil. We're looking at several key states here in Brazil, starting from the north: Mato Grosso, Goiás, Bahia, Minas Gerais, Paraná, Rio Grande do Sul, and Mato Grosso do Sul, looking at around, again, a considerable percentage, about 80-85% of those beans are produced in those states. Let's take a look at the weather trends for Brazil. Now here we've got a divergence. Dry, although some rain is moving into Argentina, but look at how moisture, 10 to 14 days, quite a bit of moisture. Here's something to keep in mind. They're just starting to harvest in Brazil. So as we move further into harvest, those beans may be more vulnerable to some quality issues if that rainfall continues. We'll monitor that for you closely. So if you total over the next 2 weeks, the next 14 days, up in that northern area of Brazil, close to normal, but some areas above normal, in the south closer to normal. So overall, the major concern at this point is too much rain in the north and perhaps not enough in the south. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in November soybean futures. Now November beans here are trading near $13.90 a bushel as we tape here on Tuesday. That's about $3.10 above the 5-year average for this time of year, and it's still 6 weeks before the crop insurance price is set. In that light, we strongly encourage you to continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to defend your balance sheet. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with one of our risk management consultants. We'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.